Hello, this is the police department. My son has hidden in the closet.
That was the last thing my mom said to the police before she collapsed in pain. I'm Steven, 23 years old, the eldest in the family. I have a 21-year-old younger brother named Peter. We look completely different from each other. One of us resembles Dad, while the other resembles Mom. Our personalities are also opposite, which is why the two of us aren't very close. But that doesn't matter too much. We grew up peacefully, each pursuing our own goals. I never go into Peter's room. I only see it once a day at dinner. We only talk when absolutely necessary. One weekend, Peter was out of the house to visit a friend. Mom knocked on my door with an annoyed tone. "Steven, the weekend is the perfect time to clean your room. I've noticed a very unpleasant smell in the house." I was awake at the time, but stayed in bed, scrolling on my phone. I strained my neck trying to sniff a bit, but I didn't detect any smell at all. My room wasn't perfectly tidy, but it was clean enough for me to be confident that it didn't need any cleaning. "Are you mistaken? I don't smell anything unpleasant," I said, opening the door and responding to Mom. After checking my room, Mom didn't say anything and moved on to Peter's room. However, what happened next changed everything. I went downstairs after cleaning myself up and had my first meal of the day at 1 p.m. As Dad and I were watching the news in the living room, Mom brought down a seemingly heavy bag from upstairs. The loud noises Mom dropped the item into the kitchen sink caught the attention of both Dad and me. I stood up and approached Mom, teasingly said, "You've been quite busy." Mom didn't answer, her face serious, and she began to untie the bag. Suddenly, Mom collapsed to the floor, holding her chest with both hands and crying. I quickly helped Mom and urgently called for Dad. To Dad's and my questions, Mom just shook her head and cried out loudly. As soon as I was about to touch the bag in the sink, Mom immediately screamed for me to stop right away. Mom pushed Dad away, ran to grab the phone, and dialed someone.
Hello, this is the police department.
My son has hidden Please come here immediately. I'm not sure. I didn't dare to open it, but please come here immediately. Please. I think I saw their ear. Please. Dad and I stood in shock looking at Mom, then at each other, and finally at the sink. 10 minutes later, the police arrived. Mom seemed energized, got up and rushed outside, with Dad and me hurrying to follow. Upon going outside and witnessing the police having a conversation with my brother, what we heard was truly horrifying. "Peter, right?" a police officer asked my brother, while a few others stood around, watching him with wary expressions. "Yes. What's your full name?" "Peter Wright." "Do you know why we're here?" "I can guess. It's probably because I've hidden some scary things in my room." "What exactly is it?" "A human head." Peter was calm and seemed to be proud of what he was saying. While Dad and I were stunned into silence, Mom knelt on the ground and cried out continuously. The police asked Peter to get into the car and lock the doors. They approached and began asking questions to my mother, but she could no longer control her emotions. I held Mom tightly while Dad took the police inside the house to inspect what was in the sink. Quickly, Dad and the police came back outside. Dad didn't cry, but his face was clearly marked with pain and shock. "Mr. and Mrs. Wright, we are very sorry to confirm that it is indeed a human head and it is beginning to show signs of decomposition. We need to arrest your son immediately for further interrogation and investigation." The police drove Peter away, while Mom cried out in agony, and Dad also cried, holding Mom. That day, my family lived in a terribly somber and oppressive atmosphere. The next morning, The police sent a video recording of Peter's interrogation. The victim was a homeless man named Logan, who was elderly and well-known and loved by many people in the neighborhood. Peter had killed him 2 days ago for the reason of wanting to experience what it feels like to take someone's life. One night, while wandering alone and seeing Mr. Logan sleeping under a bridge, Peter immediately attacked him like a hungry lion. Peter recounted all his horrifying actions, even describing them with a sense of excitement. My mother had to be hospitalized right after watching that video. Peter was diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder. People with this disorder have an excessively inflated ego, always believing they are the center of the universe, and have an excessive need for admiration. Peter was sentenced to life imprisonment with no possibility of parole. But what haunts me endlessly are the looks of hatred that Peter used to give me. Did my brother ever consider turning his violence against me and our parents?
Parents have some concerns of some stuff they may have found in your room?
Yeah, I believe so.
And what would it be?
A human head and hands.
This story is based on a true case that occurred in Mesa, Colorado on March 1st, 2021. The local police received an emergency call from a mother who was extremely panicked, reporting that she had discovered what she suspected to be a human head in her younger son's closet. The police immediately went to the address provided by the mother. The case was quickly solved, but it left a deep sense of horror and shock about a son who seemed to be the well-behaved child of the family. The offender received a fitting punishment, but the consequences and pain will forever remain in the memories of the loved ones. Through this case, parents also learn the lesson of paying more attention to, listening to, and caring for their children.